What's up, everybody? This is Joe La Puma. You were watching the Complex Sneakers podcast. As always, I am with my two guys, my co-hosts. First off, Mr. Matt Welty.
Rainy day, but we're here.
We are here. And to my left, Mr. Brendan Dunne.
Still here.
Still here.
Weird day.
Yeah, weird week. I thought that jacket didn't make that jacket didn't make it.
So the jacket I'm wearing, it's a custom Lorenzo G Nike windbreaker that he hand dyed. It's a beautiful one. I had this jacket with me when I got in a car crash earlier this year, and there was.
Oh, that's the jacket.
Yeah, that's what he said.
I didn't realize
that's what he said.
And definitely there was a span of 24 hours where it was absolutely splattered with blood. But my dear friend Kelly Aylward, who was driving the car that we got hit, when we got hit, she's a pro, and she cleaned almost all the blood out of it. So I don't see any more blood.
Me either.
You see any blood on me? That's what it's from. It's my blood.
I'm surprised that you were wearing a windbreaker in Hawaii. I feel like it'd be like 90 degrees.
I feel like it was for an IG photo. I feel like
Look what happens when you
look what they say. Fashion has no season.
Cool on the
Fashion
grid.
has no season.
Look what happens when you try to flex for the gram.
Fashion
I get hit by a car.
Fashion has no season.
We get rolled over in a car. Classic Complex Sneakers podcast episode.
The weather's not great today, but
It's eerie.
It's eerie, but you were in some warm weather recently?
I was in Miami.
Yeah. How was that?
It was fun. It was a lot of work. We were running around a bunch.
Was that your first time at Art Basel?
Yeah, it was. I didn't get any art.
Did you see any real art?
No. But I saw a lot of our friends.
Well, you saw some art in the form of footwear.
Yeah.
Yeah, which one? Which footwear?
Virgil
The
Abloh.
Codes.
That was
So wait, how did
That
you?
was great.
How did you? And I say this politely. How did you weasel your way in there to be the first one to get? Because respectfully, you were the first one.
Mhm.
How'd you?
We had a heads up from the people at Nike that they were going to be putting on this show for Virgil Abloh's work at Art Basel at the Rubel Museum, and this is in conjunction with VA Securities, which is kind of the umbrella company that Virgil's wife, Shannon Abloh, has formed to, I guess, house all his creative endeavors. And there's also this outfit called Architecture, which is kind of this think tank platform that exists to carry out Virgil's Nike work.
Okay.
And this group has existed for a while. It's run by Chloe and Mahfouz Sultan. And they had reached out to us saying, look, we're going to be showing some stuff at the museum, and we're also going to be kind of talking about in some way what's to come from Virgil, what Virgil and Nike's work look like in the future together. And the idea around it is this thing of, again, the show is called Codes. This idea that, and I think we can all agree on this, Virgil has an identifiable set of design characteristics that can be duplicated if you want, or can be applied to any medium, maybe even when he's not around. So it was an incredible show. I think it's really important. Sorry, I'm just monologuing here.
It's okay.
Please forgive me.
You didn't answer the question though. But
what was the question?
You were literally the first one in there. Was it a press event and you were just quick to like getting the?
I mean, I'm always going to show up early.
Okay, so that's the thing. You showed up.
Yeah, we showed up early. We were.
Were you first in line?
There wasn't a line.
Okay.
It was a media preview.
Got it.
And I think there were only a couple people there, and of course, Complex was there.
Okay.
And
it seemed like a great event.
We were the most intrepid reporters on the scene, so
it was interesting too, because the one thing I saw that there was a lot of shoes there, especially the Air Force One mid, because a lot of those
tons of iterations of the Air Force One.
Yes,
mid.
but a lot of those had like very distinct cultural context to them, and it felt like maybe some people who were there to report on it didn't quite catch up on the cues.
I know what you mean. To
like
the average viewer.
There was an Olympic Air Force One, which is like one of the most iconic Air Force Ones of a generation.
One of the most bootlegged ones too.
Yeah, but it's a very distinct shoe, and if you're of sneakers at that time, it's easily recognizable.
Yeah, and they flipped it into a mid.
And so many people were taking pictures of it.
Yeah,
and no one was saying, "Hey, look, it's the Olympic Air Force One into a Air Force One mid."
So
a Virgil one,
kind of related to that, to your point, the Olympic Air Force One during the finish line years, if Rudy Calderon of Yao Ming fame had a shoe that like was his flex shoe, it was the Olympic Air Force One.
Really?
And it's funny because like none of us had it. Like
Were you
our
jealous?
mentor. I wasn't ever into it. Rudy was a big Air Force One with the jerseys guy and the flat, and the size 56, shorter than me, respectfully, and with the flat fitted. But like that was one where like he must have maybe got it from a mom and pop store, but that was like his go-to flex shoe, and none of us who worked there had it. And when I saw it, I was like, man.
Can we bring Rudy on the pod and have him bring the shoes?
I would love.
I
wonder if he still has it.
Do a legit check. Get the black light out.
Yeah.
Do the Bad Bunny. Did you see the Bad Bunny legit check that he brought back from sneaker shopping?
Oh my god!
But yeah, that I noticed that the Olympic. Yeah.
Yeah, Welty, I do think that's such an important thing to mention to all these Air Force Ones there that are referencing Air Force Ones of old, but through the lens of Virgil Abloh, Off-White, Nike. There's the Olympic one. There were Sheed Off-White Air Force Ones, which if you paid attention, we dropped a little hint to that on Full Size Run a couple months ago. There was, we've talked to Fat Joe about how Virgil wanted to do a Terror Squad Off-White Air Force One.
I was a little disappointed by that one.
I don't love that
because the reference point was the lettering or the font from the Terror Squad Air Force Ones, but it was the OW.
Yeah.
Which if you know, but it's not as exact of a flip on it.
Yeah. Plus on an Air Force One mid with the cleat bottom on them. But I do think we don't need to hold those against the body of work that he has, because those are also samples and stuff that never released. So like if they decided they didn't want to do them.
I really like they had like Prestos that were not finished with his writing on them and things like that. They really bought out like the prototypes and the samples.
The one that obviously everyone's like salivating over was that the collection of the museum Air Force Ones in different colorways.
Yeah, the orange. I mean,
I think the best
tan.
is that burgundy one.
Maroon, yes.
That one's great.
Yeah.
Bayshore.
Giving Welty a fist bump. Is that a Bayshore color?
Yeah, exactly. Bayshore color.
But maroon's just a great color on shoes.
I was waiting. I was like, I didn't want to be like a Bayshore fanboy, but
since when?
But
since when?
But I was like, everyone was saying the red, and then I was like, the burgundy one is so like look like a little like Cabernet a little bit.
Were you doing a little
Cab and a little Bayshore Marauders colorway? Loved it. It looked really, really good.
Yeah, it was beautiful to see those, especially because Virgil's work has been on display a lot in these different museum exhibits, and sometimes you walk into the room and you think, oh, I'm familiar with these things. I've seen this stuff before. But that exhibit there at the Rebel Museum in Miami had this whole other half to it of all these unreleased shoes, all these things that you've never seen before, all this stuff pulled from the Department of Nike archives. I think it was the biggest ever transport of shoes out of the archives they had to do. And I think it's so special to get to see those things, to get to see, like Welty said, the references to historical sneaker culture moments that show how much Virgil understood the work. And it lets the public enjoy it. And I think that that's a very specific thing that Virgil's work was about, kind of being like open source. You could hop on these computers and download files from his hard drive and
almost
airdrop them to your phone.
To some extent.
Yeah, like it's about letting people explore these things in a physical sense. Like they don't just have to see JPEGs of them online. They can go see them. And even
NFTs.
Yeah, we're not doing NFT. I mean, but even like the programming there that weekend, like I was excited. Fraser Cook is talking, Futura is talking, John Hoke, Nike's chief design officer, is there. People who, I spoke to Dave Veriker briefly, people who you don't really see out in public that much. And it felt like this kind of celebration, this open source thing of letting people have access to the work that Virgil did.
And we also had to give a special shout out to a friend of all of ours.
Oh, no, not him.
No, Jersey Jinx.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was going to be PG. Yeah. I spoke to Jinx. Yeah, Jinx was hosting the panels that weekend. Yeah. Very cool. A lot of knowledge. Virgil's wife was there. I spoke to her briefly. Just
awesome. Who was also in the news recently.
Yep.
The New York Times article.
Yeah.
She was wearing the black cement off-white Jordan 4s that our friend Arthur Carr. Yeah.
Did you, by the way?
I need to send them today.
Okay.
You got to send a gift to Arthur. But speaking of not really knowing enough about sneakers to write about them authoritatively, we could send a tiny correction to the New York Times, who, when they posted the photo of Shannon Abloh, Virgil's wife, wearing the black and red Jordan 4s, the caption on the photo said that it was a off-white Air Force One.
I saw you guys talking about that. I missed the what was going on.
Of course,
there.
not the case. Also, she did relay to me the same story that Arthur told us about. There was a time when she was at Disneyland with a group of Virgil's friends, and she had on her feet the unreleased Off-White Air Jordan 4 in black and red, a sneaker that, as far as we know, is never coming out. And people around were breaking their necks and looking at them and maybe even assuming that they were fake. And then they realized the cohort that she was with and who she was. And yeah, those things are real.
Those things are real.
They're extremely real.
I do think it's funny because Arthur obviously has the skit on the Drake 21
I'm
album. Yeah. And I've just
I
been
want the smoke. We want bars.
Yeah.
I've just been at the gym,
What
and
does he
that's
say,
like
21 and the boy.
And the boy.
Yeah.
I've been at the gym, and that's just like an album that like it just gets played a lot recently.
Not by you personally, but just it's on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that skit just let it run through. So it's just funny to be in the gym, and all of a sudden you just hear Arthur Carr.
Does it add to the deadlift?
Just going.
No. Does it help the deadlift?
It's just funny because like the people work out with, I don't really talk about this world, but I'm like, I know that guy.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
One thing, did you get any update on the Futura dunks? Because I saw PG, saying like sell
PG
me.
was rumor mongering.
Yeah, he was just like buying all sizes. But I saw those on display. Anything?
Yeah, so Futura was there. The Off-White Futura Nike Dunk Low that never released was there on display, and
The Mets colorway or whatever.
And the Carolina blue,
The
but
blue,
there's like
yeah.
some sort of like his treatment, like tie dye
spiral thing. Yeah, those aren't releasing from what I've been told, so I wouldn't anticipate there. By the way, I also saw our friend Nick Schoenberger a decent amount down there in Miami. Yeah.
Wow, you saved the best for last.
I didn't save the best for last. You know who else I saw right outside the hotel?
Who?
No, really?
Yeah.
Did you say what up?
I said hi to Jada.
Nice. All right, Nick Schoenberger
Did he
and
remember you
Jada.
this time, Brendan?
He did. He knew who I was.
Did you hit any of the spots I hit? La Sandwich or anything?
I always spent a lot of money at La Sandwichery.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, croissant sandwiches, many of them.
Ooh.
Hanging out with Gerald, hanging out with our friend Bima. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I
Okay,
Joe's
sorry.
throwing sneaker boxes around.
My bad.
I hate to monologue too much, but when I go to these things, whether it's Complex Con or whether it's a sneaker event somewhere around the world or Basel in Miami, it fills me with so much joy to see all these people who I know from over the years in the industry and just connect with people, however briefly it is, whether it's in a hotel lobby or at a party at 4 a.m., and just
Whoa.
4 a.m.
Wait, 4 a.m. party.
No way.
Wait, hold on. Don't bury the lead.
No way. There was also another. No way we're doing 4 a.m. parties anymore.
He was there. I think he went. Seriously.
Casablanca.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I think
go,
there
go, go,
actually
go.
was a party.
There was another shoe too on display at the exhibit that we have a funny relationship with.
Oh, what is this?
It's the blue and black soled Air Force One, worn by friend of the program, Zarek Valentin.
Yes, tell that story.
MLS player. So Zarek's he's a friend of mine. MLS player for Houston Dynamo, or most recently for the Houston Dynamo. Played for like 10 years in the league. He's just like a fan of the show. Hits me up. We have like a friendship, whatever. And he's a Nike athlete. He played in Portland for a period, so I guess he had like a pretty good connect to Nike playing for the Timbers. And he got his seating box sent.
Nike sending him some promo
And he wears
gear.
a size 9, and he randomly got sent an unreleased Off-White Air Force One sample, which is the blue with the black sole and like the spiral lacing on it. And he had posted, and I'm like, dude, you need to like send us a bunch of pictures of this or whatever.
Because nobody had really seen that shoe very much at that point.
No. Virgil had worn it on like a
Mm-hmm.
runway show or
Yeah,
something
with the
like that.
with the blue Arc'teryx.
Dude, you remember every outfit. Incredible.
And it was funny because I remember like, not to talk about the Slack, but there was like a debate of people being like, oh, I don't think this is news. I don't know if we should post it or whatever. And I'm like, look, the guy got an unreleased Off-White Air Force One. He's going to send us a bunch of pictures of it and then tell us the story of how an MLS player randomly got sent like a shoe that at the time would have been worth like $15,000 or something like that.
I relayed that to somebody at Nike too that weekend of seeing that shoe on the wall because this was one of those unreleased Air Force Ones that was on display at the museum for the Virgil Codes exhibit and being like, just so you know, I know a person who has those who believes he was maybe mistakenly sent them by Nike, I
think he told me they had asked for the shoes back.
Really?
Yeah, because they were like, you weren't supposed to get those. These were like meant for someone else or
I wonder who. Now let me ask you, if Nike happened to send you a unreleased Off-White Air Force One in the mail and they asked for them back, what's your response?
Oh man.
And he wore them though. He did the MLS version of the tunnel, like walking to the game with the
I think that's what you got to do is be like, I
with the
wore
cleats
them.
in hand. And I think they had a party in the locker room once where they were shooting off silly string and they got all over the shoes.
Kind of connected. We had a shipment at Finish Line 2005. I think it was like regular white on white Air Force Ones. We opened the box. It was just a bunch of Halloween Air Force Ones, the patent leathers.
Yeah,
We are not supposed to have these. And I think they must have been in the system though. But yeah.
And what did
I think people bought them. I
Okay,
think
you put 'em
people.
up
I
for
think
sale.
maybe employees bought them. You
You
know,
put Derek Curry and just flip them all.
I don't know what that story's about, but
He told us.
Oh, he
pod.
did?
Yeah, he was reselling the shoes out the back of finish line.
wow, Derek Curry on the pod seems like so long ago.
We got a big archive.
Woof.
2020.
Go run
Please
those back.
go binge the archive during the holiday season.
So no releases of the Virgil shoes that weekend, but Art Basel did have some sneaker releases. I think the Stone Island New Balance 574.
Wow.
dropped.
They came out.
I think that
At
I think
the
they
Stone
did
Island
a
store.
quiet release at the Stone Island store in
I
Miami.
think
Welty,
Victor Kahn had posted it.
yeah, from Packer Shoes.
Yeah.
All our friends over there. Shout out to them. Welty, are you into the
So
Stone Island New Balance 574?
as people know, I've said on the pod, like I'm not the biggest fan of the 574
As a model.
Yeah, there are a few 574s that I have that, you know, I have some like special collaborations or whatever that, you know, it's not my favorite shoe, but I'll wear them maybe once in a while.
Yeah.
But they've like retooled the 574 this year and added like an end cap to it, which is the plastic heel, made the sole a little thicker. Like the 574 looks so thin compared to a lot of the other shoes, and this one's like a little more.
And as a result, looks a little cheap a lot of times, right?
And is a little more beefed up because they did that Bodega collaboration. There's like a blue and a yellow pair.
The suede ones.
Yeah, look nice. They did the Stone Island, the whole joke, get the badge in. They literally put a huge honking badge.
Is the badge too big?
No, I think the badge. I was
could
looking
be
at
bigger.
it. I was looking at it. I'm like, is that badge bigger than the badge on a jacket? You know, it's so huge. And it just looks. It looks ostentatious, but I feel like that's part of the appeal of a lot of Stone Island stuff. So
do you want the
talking
574s?
about the end cap and the thicker sole? You're warming up to the 574.
I'm
Just
not-
say it.
I like
Just-
that shoe. I like that shoe.
Okay.
And then you were surprised too because Complex Sneakers had tweeted it, and that tweet like went off. It had
Yeah, I
like
didn't think
30,000
people
likes or
cared
something
about
like
it
that.
that
Stone
much,
Island. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's also the football kits they did, soccer jerseys they did.
And the cleats, boots.
Yeah.
They wore.
We're
for the
translating
World Cup.
on the fly. Yeah,
I believe that Raheem Sterling had
Yeah.
worn them for England.
I want that jersey, that Stone Island New Balance soccer jersey. I want that a lot.
Did the Stone Island 574s make your New Balance list that you went? Yeah.
He was formulating on the
for-
fly.
formulating
a list of
in-
his, nobody asked, but Welty
Yeah,
just-
I love that. In no
nobody
particular
asked.
order, no one asked.
What
And then-
is the meme where it's like absolutely nobody?
Exactly.
Matt
I
Welty,
love that
here
he
are my
was just
top New
going-
Balances of the year.
No, because
Just
we
started
were having
listing-
a discussion. We were
Yes.
having a discussion about New Balance.
Yes.
And there was a shoe that I loved that I was thinking about wearing today because guess what?
Oh, you have 'em?
They came in the mail.
Okay.
But it's not the reason. That's not the only reason why I like the shoe. It's the Up There store.
Yeah.
In Australia.
And I like the other. The
2002 R.
Right.
Backyard Legends. The first one this year.
Backdoor Legends.
No.
I like.
I thought it was like not slept on, but it was like a regional release, so a lot of people couldn't get them. But it's the shoe with the webbing.
I like
on
that
it.
one a lot, and I like that colorway, and I like the shroud. I know that there was some
Yeah.
difference of opinion in the shroud.
Yeah.
This one, even though, sorry, you
no.
finished, but even though it is a maroon and white shoe,
What's a white shoe? You don't like
Oh.
it?
no, well,
Oh.
no, not that. I do think the first colorway is better, and even though it is the Marauders colors that we talked about,
Bayshore.
not my favorite one, and that prompted you to just start listing your favorite New Balances of the year.
I said it was a good shoe. I said it was. I think it's a great shoe. The white with the maroon with the hot pink hits on the heel and the little bit of lime green on the heel.
Keep going.
And
And what else?
more importantly,
Mm.
two of the most respected New Balance people in the world.
Who? You and?
Myself not included. Our friend Rob Stewart, aka Glasgow Rob,
AKA
and
Sterling Rob.
and Richie Rojas, aka
Richie
Mr.
Rojas.
New Balance 365. Both said it may be a contender for sneaker of the year. In their
Ooh,
opinion.
that's who put the battery in your back.
But when those people, I'm not saying that my opinion just goes off of them, but when like the real New Balance connoisseurs say this is a good shoe, I tend to listen.
You're riding with them.
I tend to listen sometimes.
Yeah, like when I feel like
does
sometimes
yeah.
sometimes when PG gets mad about an Air Force One release, you're on here pushing P, and I mean pushing PG's
Wow.
agenda.
He doing the Conor McGregor.
No
I'd
way.
like to apologize to absolutely nobody, right? Is that what? So wait. Okay, for me, best New Balance of 2022 in
This is
no
Welty's
order.
list.
Up
Yes.
there times two. Up there 2002R. The second, the one we just talked
it's up
about.
there.
It may be the first one, but either one of the
I
two.
like the first one.
One of the two.
Paperboy Beams 920.
Yes. That's the mismatch ones I wore at Complex Con.
Joe Freshgood's 993. Not that color,
but the pink.
The pink one,
which Joe has.
You went to check to see if I was. I'm not wearing them in the rain.
Welty's wearing the blue pair right now.
That's it.
You didn't get to finish it.
No,
three.
I said top 3.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, cool.
Okay.
Stray Rats is making mine.
Oh, how do you not put Stray Rats on there?
I like it, but it's just not
That's the top 3 New Balance of the year.
Easy. That's in my. Joe's giving me the fist bump.
Okay, that's in my top 3.
Oh, beautiful. That's in my top 5 sneakers of the year. My personal.
Wow.
Yeah, the New Balance Stray Rats MT580s.
Do you have them?
No, I'll buy them.
Oh, they're so good.
I should have been cruising around Miami looking for a pair, but
it was. We were
busy in Miami.
The conversation was prompted because I was talking to our good friend Bima.
Yes,
and he goes.
I was with him in Miami.
He goes, "What do you think about?"
In a 10K.
What do you think about the Salehi 990 V2s? Which great shoe. And he says to me, he goes, "I think it's my favorite New Balance of the year, maybe a top 3 sneaker of the year."
Woo.
Ooh.
High praise from Bima.
That's too high for me, but I do like those.
That's what had me contemplating what my favorite New Balances of the year
Got
were.
it. Now we know the source. Can I mention a couple more Miami things real quick?
Of course.
And then maybe we can give away some sneakers. We were with Gerald a little bit. Always big up to Gerald.
I saw him getting buckets even in Miami.
Yep. Big Waz was in the mix.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
We almost made it to 11. Gary Payton was in the mix.
Okay.
And then I was supposed to go fishing with Dizzy Rascal, but didn't make
What?
it. What
were you trying to catch
for another day?
What were you trying to catch?
We were just gonna go out to the ocean and see what came to us.
This guy's a master marketer. No, this guy's a master networker.
Name dropper. I thought you were going there.
No. I go to Miami. I pop out of the events. The rest I'm in the hotel. This guy is meeting everyone.
A little bit. Should we give away some shoes?
Let's do it.
Every week on the Complex Sneakers podcast, no matter what the circumstances, macro or micro, we give away a free pair of sneakers here on the Complex Sneakers podcast with our good friends eBay and their authenticity guarantee program. You can go to ebay.complex.com to submit a question for us to respond to here on the air. If we pick your question, if we like the question, and if you're a U.S. resident, you have to be a U.S. resident to enter this contest, we are going to send you a free pair of shoes courtesy of eBay and their authenticity guarantee program. Joe?
A lot of Virgil talk this episode, and these are...
It's only right.
Oh, man. Woo!
Not the Zarek Valentin, but...
No, but the 2019 MCA release... Okay. Hold on.
This is the most you've ever struggled getting a shoe out of a box. The slider
there
box.
There we go. I know. The sliders I love. There's a lot going on.
Turn the video
2019
on.
release, the MCA. What a beautiful, beautiful shoe. We talked about all the iterations that Virgil had on display at the Codes. I love this one. I unDS'd mine Kodak Black episode.
Sneaker shopping.
But yeah, we always talk about it. I think this is my second favorite besides the MoMA one.
It was like a quasi Complex Con release, not really.
Oh, there was a few pairs.
There was was there like 2 pairs or something?
Pairs
for Complex Con in Chicago.
You hated that. I remember.
But I think
hated it.
I don't know what the exact. I think it was like less than 5 pairs or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we were given the information that this shoe was releasing at Complex Con, and we tried to give people a heads up. And then, as we do, and then we realized, it's literally a couple pairs.
It's just such a man.
But hey, we're making up for it now by giving somebody a free pair.
Yes, and we are giving them to Anthony Jordan Mangini from LA. And Anthony asked, what are your thoughts on wearing specific school associated colorways if you didn't attend that school or are a fan? Should these shoes be held for students/alumni?
Yes.
Are we talking about PEs and stuff that become rare and people?
So.
Okay.
It depends to me. I know where you're going, Joe, because you have to look at the most iconic series of dunks there is, to be true dunks, right?
Yes.
The Nike dunks that started all,
Michigan,
which were college colors program. Yeah, Michigan, Syracuse, Kentucky.
To me, that's totally fine.
I agree.
Those shoes are that's totally fine because a lot of those shoes to some people don't even have the connotation that they're this school.
They're far removed. The logos aren't on them.
I mean, I remember I really wanted the Kentucky Nike SB version. When those came out.
That's the suede one?
Yeah.
Oh, it was very similar. It's just...
No, it was Be True, but it was suede.
Yep.
I really wanted those, but if you wear a Georgetown Terminator or something like that, you can get away with that.
That's different. That's more, But you're talking about, what about when people are chasing rare PEs?
I think you look goofy.
Thank you.
If you are a professional athlete who went to another university, and now all of a sudden you're wearing like a Marquette PE Jordan 4.
Yeah. I mean, I could give you all an hour on this.
Give us a little bit.
No, let's go in because
give us
because it all
also you have connection because like
the Genesis
Oregon
has
a lot of PEs.
Mighty Oregon.
Yeah, that must
they might have the most.
That
PEs.
must give you the little bit of the Arthur meme sometimes when you see that, right? Get the little fist, you know.
What did you think about like back in the day when you see someone like Kevin Durant going hard to secure himself a pair of Oregon Air Jordan?
Corny, and not just the athletes. I think for a lot of people, I get that it's an exclusive thing and that just adds a lot to it. And I think we all fall victim to that. Oh, this is an exclusive thing. I want it. But to me, I could never, no matter how exclusive it is, and God, I hope somebody doesn't find some part in my past where I'm contradicting this, but I could never go hard for some exclusive shoe for another college because, you know, I'm a duck, baby. You know, I spent, you know.
Keep going. Keep going.
Someone's going to find a picture of you somewhere.
Smith Walton. You know, I was in the dorms. I was in the cafeteria. Like, to me.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You know, we were eating honey stung chicken. Some whammies, some big mouth burrito. But I just feel like those sneakers are exciting because I was a part of that and because I spent formative years there. And that is what is exciting about college sports in general, which is where these sneakers come from. So if you're on the outside and you just think it looks cool, and you know, I think Nike is partly to blame to this because Phil Knight has obviously given the University of Oregon millions and hundreds of millions of dollars in order to make it an enticing brand for people who've never been to the Willamette Valley, for people who never went to the jail for a plate of teriyaki, you know, for people who never sniffed Tracktown pizza wafting through the air while you're trying to focus on your finals, you know.
You thought he was done?
You never went to Rennie's? No. So I just feel like, yeah, if there's another college that you went to or you're associated with, to go out of your way to, you know, get a exclusive for another school is like, really, like, you know, there's this Oregon, you know, let me tell you, you know, I can really keep going because, you know, some guy just dropped some $250 book about, I think it's called Innovation University. It's, you know, it's like about how great University of Oregon football program is and stuff. And they got a bunch of interviews with people in there who didn't go to the school, you know, maybe not a bunch, but at least a couple. And you never reached out to Brendan Dunne?
Whoa. Question
18th and Ferry Alley? You know, I come
He's
from that.
He's looking right into his
Charnelton?
camera, too.
Willamette?
I have a question, though.
Please.
What about me, a UConn graduate, wearing a Syracuse dunk?
That's even like more sacrilegious, isn't it?
Okay, so
and I got the St. John's Nike dunk.
Yeah, that's why I looked at it.
But that's, if it's the Be True version, it doesn't have the school logos. It's not a PE. You didn't fucking jump out the window to spend thousands of dollars on it. Then I think that's different.
$10,000.
Just Jerry McNamara and Carmelo Anthony putting us through hell all those years, though. You think I could show up to Store's campus? You think I could show up to Jonathan's and the UConn Co-op in some Syracuse dunk highs?
Eric Devendorf.
Exactly. Was that I think that was the OT game.
Yeah, he got on the announcer's table.
Exactly.
I mean, it's like, to me, if a shoe costs thousands of dollars and I'm going to buy it, which I'm not, it better mean a lot to me. And what does the University of Oregon mean to y'all who are going out and spending thousands of dollars on these Oregon player exclusives? Because I know what it means to me. You know, I've been at the library. No, sorry.
Yeah, listen. You know, just every single structure on campus. All right, listen.
I was in there.
I feel like pizza in Oregon got to be pretty ass, though.
You know what? You know what? There have been some controversial lists recently that ranked some Portland pizzerias as the top in the nation.
I don't believe that.
Are you trying?
I mean, it happened.
No, I know, but I'm saying I don't buy into
a Pizza Shoals is good.
I don't buy into it. People can say whatever they want.
Who are we giving the shoes away to again?
Anthony, listen. Anthony inspired a spirited conversation.
School spirit, right?
Yeah.
And he is getting these MCA Virgil Air Force Ones. Great pair.
Nice one. By the way, I kind of alluded to it. Should we talk about the shoes we're wearing on feet real quick?
Let's do it.
A fitting one, given that conversation. I'm wearing the vintage VNTG, not actual vintage, the faux vintage one. Nike Dunk High, red and white, St. John's, despite having no connection at all to St. John's University. I just think they look pretty. But there's no logos on it, so I'm not betraying my values here.
Topical.
Nor anywhere else. Joe, what are you wearing?
Erie Day, wearing the CDG Thunder Max.
Did you go triple black on purpose today?
Yeah.
No, the fit.
No, it was navy.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's navy?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I've worn this hoodie for years. Yeah, pretty simple.
I'm not going to check the colors.
CDG Thunder Air Max. And you?
I'm just doing blue Joe Fresh Goods 993s. Warriors at Complex Con as well. As so did half of the Complex Con attendees.
There were a lot of
Yes, there was a lot of those in the crowd. And we talk about on the Sneaker of the Year panel, which I said may come out the 12th. It may get pushed back, but we'll see. So just a little bit of a programming note there.
But how can someone say that these aren't a good shoe for Easter?
Don't give it up. Don't give it up.
More precursor for the Sneaker of the
exactly.
Year Complex Con panel that'll be on YouTube. And then we'll also do a top 10 Sneakers of the Year conversation here on the podcast, I think, soon to wind it down for the year. We got to do a little bit of catch up, right?
Yes, we do. There's some sneaker news for sure.
Yeah, where do we want to start? Lawsuits?
Sure, that's your biggest.
That was last week.
always exciting for me. Nike is suing Kool Kiy and Omi over their knockoff Air Jordan 1s, which isn't surprising at all given how aggressive Nike has been in protecting their intellectual property around these designs. Everybody's been sued for these things recently, and I think because of that, if you're somebody who's making these things, you have to know it's coming eventually, right? And I hope these guys were prepared for that moment. I hope they were getting themselves ready. I hope they've talked to people like John Geiger or Warren Lotus in order to figure out how to fight this stuff, because as we know, Nike is going to fight it pretty hard. We actually kind of felt like this thing was coming a little bit because I had a cease and desist a couple months ago that Nike had sent to Omi being like, hey, if you're not prepared to change these sneakers, and this is the Air Jordan 1s essentially with the lightning bolt on the side, Nike had told them, we're going to sue you if you don't comply with.
Isn't that situation's interesting too, because it was Kool Kiy who was making them first, and then Omi had like a beef with Kiy and wanted to bootleg his bootlegs.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very there's so many like meta levels to it.
Is there any differences that you've noticed in these lawsuits compared to the past ones, or
they feel pretty familiar to me? To be honest, I did not read the whole complaint because I was at the Casablanca party in Miami. Our own Riley Jones has been on this one, but yeah, it feels familiar. I think one thing that we've learned from these past lawsuits is that you can settle with Nike on these things. Like, you don't have to just fold up right away. And I'm looking forward to seeing how these guys fight this thing, because I think they have a significant amount of resources, as John Geiger did, to push back and to be like, no, I'm not just gonna do what Nike is demanding right away. I'm gonna fight against this. Warren Lotus was able. I don't like those shoes. I don't like these shoes, but was able to change his design a little bit and still make sneakers. So as aggressive as Nike has been, I don't know how successful they've been, because a lot of these people are still making sneakers, just ones that don't look as much like iconic Nike shoes.
Yeah. I mean, I think with the thing like this, I don't think it's Nike trying to pinpoint anyone well, they are, because they're suing someone, but it just feels like it's almost like a broad swath of like, hey, if you do this, at this point, we're going to try and come for you.
Yeah.
Where it's not like a personal targeted attack of, we don't like you, this is the reason why we're trying to sue you.
Yeah.
Because you see, it's everywhere from the big names to people who are simply just doing stuff on like Wish or whatever. You know what I mean? So
it's like a crackdown operate. It's like they set out however long ago at this point. It seems like it's been bubbling up for what now, 2 years?
Yeah, 2 years.
And that they were like, one of the initiatives is to crack down on this.
I mean, I feel like when Warren Lotus got sued in the fall of 2020, that had to have sent a warning shot. And I think that's the intention to a lot of these people of like, you better get ready, because this thing is going to come eventually. It
seems like it started with that, and then it's just been consistent.
Yeah. But what I'm impressed by is when these people, like I said, are willing to fight back. And I know a lot of people didn't appreciate it, but I thought it was great when Kool Kiy responded with the banned ad right away. It said like, look, we're just going to lean into this thing and I don't want to say embrace it, but like, if, turn it into a marketing moment if we can. I hope we get to talk to him about the shoes.
Yeah,
I know somebody from his operation kind of put it out there. Oh, this is the first time Complex have ever covered us.
I feel like we've always wanted to.
No, we need to clear that up too.
I know.
Clear it up too, because just for clarity, we don't really cover any of the knockoff shoes for the most part,
unless it's legal action around them.
Yeah, or if it's something huge. I don't know, but we don't do like release dates on every single of the knockoff shoes. And a lot of them move so fast that it's like, this is coming out in 2 days, boom, you know. And I think in the past, I was actually talking to someone behind the scenes. We've actually tried to get Kyrie on full size run
for years,
7 times this year alone. So we're more, and it's not to talk about just is Nike going to sue you. We're like here to tell your story, you know, tell you like how you built your business, you know, everything about, you know, your inspiration, et cetera, and, you know, tell your story to the world. So it's not that we're out here just trying to slander or put something bad on your name or whatever.
I mean, that was frustrating to see that. And I know a lot of times people think the complex is the enemy, and for a lot of people they are. You know, I hope they're not spending their energy thinking that, because like you said, we've tried to interview Kool Kiy for years. We tried to get him on full size run. Trinidad has worn his shoes on full size run.
We never said anything negative about him at all. So
yeah,
it's like...
he's had booths at Complex Con. I mean, that's just like the truth of it, you know. I wish them both luck in their fight against Nike. We've said it on, I think, the full size run episode of John Geiger. Like, we've all been to war with Nike at different points, and it's no fun. So
we're not sitting here being like, I hope you get sued. I hope Nike takes you down. I hope you lose. Like, that's not our intention at all. It's just big sneaker news, and we're covering it. But we more than want you to come on the platform to tell the story of your sneakers and your life and everything else. You know?
I'm interested to see how the legal battle progresses. I'm sure that these guys aren't going to go down without a fight. So,
and there was another person as well.
Yeah, Lil Nar, I think the rapper got sued. Is that right?
Yeah, they were doing knockoff shoes as well. So
I wonder how long this wave can last.
And when you see that as well, it makes you realize that it's not Nike just trying to come at one person. It's just saying, hey, if you're doing this, we're gonna get you.
Yeah.
We'll see. Definitely. Some other news. Officially, Kyrie Irving and Nike parted ways.
Yeah. I think that, honestly, we saw that and it didn't feel that newsworthy because it felt like Nike was kind of already there. I mean,
it's still newsworthy.
Yeah, for sure. I just mean, like, it felt like a foregone conclusion to a lot of us. A couple weeks ago, Nike they didn't place it under review in the same way Adidas placed the Kanye West thing under review, but Nike said that they're suspending Kyrie Irving, or that was the news that Shams broke.
And then November 4th, they said they won't be launching Kyrie 8s.
Yeah.
The Kyrie 8s.
But even more than that, like Phil Knight gave an interview talking about how Kyrie Irving, 2 days later, I don't know what his words were, but went too far. I think when Phil Knight is coming out speaking on a specific athlete, which I don't even know what the PR strategy was behind that, to have the man himself come from behind the curtain and shit on Kyrie like that.
Yeah, so 2 days later, he said, I would doubt that we would go back, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
But it felt like this was a long time coming, regardless of all the comments or actions that Kyrie's done over the past month or so. Because, you know, we had it on here or talked about it last year, or was it this year? It was probably this year, where he just said his shoe was trash.
I think that was last year.
Yeah, his shoe was trash. It seemed like he was trying to get out of his Nike contract back then. So I don't know. It doesn't really feel that surprising.
I guess that's what I meant when I said it didn't feel newsworthy, is because, like I just said, it just felt like a kind of a foregone conclusion of this thing is deteriorating. The deal was set to expire in 2023. You got Phil Knight going on national TV saying this ain't it, so it makes sense. Just pack it up.
And then, what do you think in terms of going forward? Do you think he'll be seeking out another sneaker deal? Do you think some brands will be clamoring to sign him, or
I don't think any of the biggest brands will be looking to sign. I don't think Adidas is looking to sign Kyrie Irving. I wouldn't be surprised if he had a deal with Anta or something.
That's what I was thinking.
People were mentioning that may be a possibility. And then, like, you know, just Kyrie Irving sneakers are super popular for Nike on court, especially.
Yeah, and especially it was one of those shoes. I think we talked about it on here. It's like you'd walk past like any like middle school or something like that, and it was like the #1 shoes that you would just see on feet with the kids. So
yeah, but maybe, you know, Ja Morant is coming soon. Ja Morant's signature shoe. Maybe that
Devin
will
Booker.
help fill the void. You know, they have a lot of young talent who I think can help replace that revenue, which is something they'll want to do, especially in the basketball category. You know, when Kyrie's sneakers are no longer a source of money for them, because I think that's what it. You know,
and we don't know if this was in reaction to this, but on the Nike website, all the shoes are 50% off.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they're just trying to get all the stock liquidated as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and like you said, when that news broke, immediately after, there was reports that Ja Morant is still progressing in line for a signature sneaker, which, like, you know, he's big box office now. He's an absolute superstar. And Remember, you guys had him
We had him
early on.
We had him on full size
Full-size run
before he
early.
got drafted. Yeah.
Early on. But
that was crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy to go back and look at that. But him getting a signature shoe, and then Devin Booker was another name that was floated that he may get a signature shoe. Too young.
Can I talk about another big box office sneaker?
Oh, Spider-Man.
These new Spider-Man Jordan 1s?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good transition.
Thank you.
Yep.
The disclaimer is always, these are leaked photos. We don't know the whole story. We haven't seen a great look at this upcoming sneaker because, somebody who stole it out of a factory and took a photo with the potato is showing it us for the first time. But the Spider-Man Jordan 1 that's on the way looks big trash to me.
But people were not feeling what is it? What kind of print is it? It's the one on the collar.
I want answers.
Yeah, the one on the collar. What can we describe it as?
Someone said maybe it was just some sort of treatment that was in some of the illustrations throughout the film. Okay. That they transferred over the shoes.
And sometimes these early looks end up being fake or not accurate or things like that.
Well, there was originally, so just for context, there was that original, I think it's the Spider-Verse shoe.
The Jordan 1.
The one looks like has the webbing on it. It looks like a Chicago Jordan 1. I think it has a clear sole on it as well. I mean, I'm not really into the superhero movies. I watch them on flights. That's about it.
Yeah.
But I'm
just putting up the Avengers.
I'm not going, on release day to go watch it in the theaters. But I didn't realize how expensive that shoe is. The first one,
Spider-Verse Jordan 1.
Yes,
how much is it?
Somewhere between I think $600 and $800.
People like that shoe a lot.
I gotta go on eBay.
But you spend
$600 or $800.
People like that shoe a lot.
You take in the comic book fandom or film fandom, and then put it on a limited Jordan 1, and it just seems like a foregone conclusion that it's going to go for a lot of money.
There are so many other sneakers I would.
People love that.
Money
That comes.
But imagine you're not like a core sneakerhead. But you're just you like sneakers somewhat, and you're a huge
Marvel
comic book fan. Yeah.
Well, again,
that's why it's like for me, the shoe isn't it, and no matter what, it's not going to be it. But for some people, it's going to be everything. So to me, it's just like, I'm not going to save judgment, but just going to.
You mean for the old one or for the new one?
For both. It's like there's going to be a huge audience that's going to love it so much. But
at least the old one kind of looks
That's
good.
never going to be my world.
Yeah.
Oh, can we pull back the curtain a little bit too? Spider-Man.
Yeah. What?
So we had actually made. I don't think I have it on my computer anymore. Matt Gian had made
full size run editor. Matt Gian made
for the Mayor episode, and when he had told a story about Charlie the Cheetah, R.I.P. dying. I forget which Spider-Man movie it is, but there's an intro where Iron Man dies and they play Whitney Houston, "I Will Always Love You."
Yeah.
And we had recreated that skit.
Yeah, "I Will Always Love You" over the Charlie the Cheetah.
Yes.
Yeah. And we were going to put it in the episode, but obviously we couldn't clear it through legal.
Yeah. I don't know how much of the full-size run budget it would take to clear Whitney Houston's "I Will Always Love You" for 8 seconds, but it might have tapped us out for the entire year.
You could have hit up
for the next couple of years.
You could have hit up the Emirati prince that owned Charlie the Cheetah and see if he could load us some money for it.
It's possible.
Just have the fitting tribute.
One shoe, I know that I feel like we differed in the past that I really want next week, eBay Dunks.
Okay.
And you did some reporting on the auction aspect of it. Talk about the auction aspect and what's the deal. I think it's, 10 pair special box, the axe.
Yeah. So obviously the full disclosure is that we're sponsored by eBay on this podcast, and eBay spends money advertising on Complex. So let's just say that before we discuss the shoe. But I did talk to some people who were involved in the design and the release of the shoe. eBay is doing 10 charity auctions with a skatable box, like a box you would see in a skate park.
Yeah.
Commemorative box where it has the retro of the eBay Dunk with the see-through sections.
You could skate the box.
Yeah.
So it's like you could do tricks.
I couldn't. Welty did. There's a commemorative saw in there.
Wow, I totally missed that. Sorry.
And then there's a collector's pair, which will have...
Because the shoes were cut.
Yes,
one cut-up shoe and one intact shoe in the pair. It's very complicated, but go look at the images and you'll realize it. So for the people that don't know, the eBay Dunk, or the quote-unquote charity Dunk in its original iteration, 2003. A shoe that was on display at the Action Sports Retailer trade show in 2003. They cut up the original sample, just development samples. The shoe barely exists, They cut the shoe up and they did a charity auction back then in 2003 for the sneaker, where basically the only person in the world who was meant to own it was a person who won the charity auction. It raised over $30,000. Tim Brosh Foundation's skate parks in the Portland area. And the secret behind it was that Sandy Bodecker, a Nike legend who started at Nike in 1979 as a footwear tester and was the founder of Nike SB, he actually bought that auction pair in 2003. It was kept a secret for a long time. He brought him out in 2013, I think, when he moved on from Nike SB to elsewhere in Nike to become the VP of Special Projects. So, sorry, this is I'm monologuing yet, but this is a long, important history of the SB charity eBay dunk. And in the 2022 version, they're bringing it back as a tribute to Sandy Bodecker, but also officially involving eBay this time. And the sneaker in its new form looks like it's been cut up. So it has these clear sections on it as if it is the original. So that the idea behind that was to preserve the sanctity of the original, where like it's still the case that only Sandy Bodecker has ever owned that original.
Makes sense.
His foundation now is in possession of them, but it's a way you can participate.
And then besides the auction, they will hit skate shops later, right?
Yeah, they're going to do a Nike SB skate shop release and a sneakers release. eBay and Nike are also doing this like skate 'em out pop-up in Portland where you can buy a bunch of recent SB dunks that people really want and sell for a bunch of money, but you have to put them on your feet and skateboard out of the store. But you can buy them for $65, the original.
But interesting.
I mean, I think
price.
on the new pair, there's on the insole, there's a picture of Sandy Bodecker. I think on the heel, it just says SB.
Yeah, a lot of cool tributes, really tying back to Sandy.
I was actually, I don't know how it came up, because you were writing this story, you know, and I had Googled or I'd looked up Sandy's old Instagram account,
Problem Solver
8, yeah. And I'm like scrolling through it just to kind of see, you know, what he had posted back in the day. And there was one thing he posted, said, because he obviously passed away due to cancer. And he had posted that when he was going through the cancer treatments, that the Nike SB team, I think it was every week, had created a 1-of-1 sample shoe.
Wow.
Very cool.
For him. And I think there was one shoe, it may have been like the Zoom URL or something like that, where it was a Guinness-inspired one. He had done Guinness-inspired shoes in the past. Obviously, the black and tan, there was a lot of controversy around that shoe. But they had made it and it said Bodecker draft or drought on the side with the Guinness logo.
Joe, I'm a little surprised that you want the new.
I wanted them. I really liked them for a while. I think it came up
a white shoe.
The retro, but also, how do you wear that sneaker with the clear sections on it?
I'll put some dad socks on.
You'll really wear that because and the shoe is a bizarre shoe.
You know how many pairs of dyed Lapstone and Hammer socks I have from Brian from 3 or 4 years ago? I have so many. I bought so many. I always liked that sneaker, but I would say this weekend. I feel like Costin was wearing them, right?
He skated in them.
Oh man, that's all you need.
Some skaters in Portland.
People were like, "How do you skate in that shoe?"
Were you at did you make it for the Virgil Skate Invitational?
No,
okay.
No.
I think he wore them and it just like, and then the ad, the little Nike SB ad they did today, I think P-Rod, correct me if I'm wrong, P-Rod is narrating it, but I really want
Shout out to Hunter Morera. He was at Nike SB for a long time. I hope I pronounced his last name correctly. Sorry, Hunter. And now he's at eBay, and he helped see that project.
Do you guys like them?
I mean, I like it. So I interviewed people about the sneaker, and that always endears me to a shoe. And I think it's such a beautiful tribute to Sandy. Yeah. And I think he was a fatherly figure to a lot of the young people who worked at Nike SB over the years. Yeah. You know, it's kind of like a Sandy tribute shoe more than anything. It was originally supposed to release for his birthday, which is in March.
I saw some like accounts are calling the shoe the Sandy.
Yeah. It's very tied to him. So for that reason, I like it, and I like the history around it. But as a wearable sneaker, I can't wear that sneaker.
I totally get it. I just feel like sometimes
it's a collection piece, though.
It is, but also sometimes going back to the Invisible Women's Air Force One when young at Complex and like
sneakers,
see-through, but leather, but also like a shoe that it's like, what is going on, and like tough to wear, but. Sometimes you just want to put shoes like that on, and I really like how this looks.
Well, I think we talked about it on the podcast with the Clot Air Max one.
Nostalgia.
The problem is that my feet are like the two different sizes.
Yeah.
So it's like you look at it,
yourself literally.
People are like, "Why is your foot so small in this one?" I posted it on Instagram. People were trying to clown me for it. But can we talk about one more Nike SB before we go?
Yes, absolutely.
Orange Lobsters.
Yeah.
Did Dennis the Disco do a lobster? I think he did.
What did he do? He was trying to go viral? He shot a little reel?
Yeah, look, he's eating pasta with the shoes at the table.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I saw that last night.
We got to put that video in.
Black bands.
I like the Orange Lobsters a lot.
So do I.
But it seems like Concepts kind of didn't get the release right. People are mad.
So I saw some comments. What exactly happened?
So I just feel like it was one of those things where
The online release?
Yeah,
Or
they opened it up, and then people
raffle
feel
got
like it
screwy.
got botted and compromised, and then they had to cancel it and redo it.
I saw that yesterday.
It was just a mess, and I do think that really detracts from a sneaker when that happens. I think we always have to judge sneakers on how they're released, and when it's years into this thing, I know it. You know, I was talking to somebody from Concepts at the Miami event because they did a pop-up for the shoe. They sold a limited edition box set. I didn't buy the box set, but this person was telling me how many resources they had to spend just to release a shoe.
We had this conversation. Can we mention this?
I don't know what it is, but
So you had hit me over the weekend saying like, oh, I feel stupid because I passed on the box set because it was like, what was it, $300 to $350?
yeah.
I think so, yeah.
And at the I guess I know in the moment it feels like a lot, but obviously not that you're trying to flip the shoe, but the shoe just is gonna go for way more than that.
Yeah.
So in the moment to buy it with the limited boxing and everything, it's like a good investment.
Yeah. I left some pairs for the people. But yeah, the limited edition box set. And also, I want the orange lobsters, but I just want a regular SB box for whatever the retail price is. I don't need a bear brick and a bunch of trinkets. I mean, I think for a lot of people that stuff is exciting and they're happy to.
Especially if you're like a real. I'm not saying that you're not a real collector, but the people who get like really like crazy
they want
about
the complete sets and all the
collecting
promo gear. Me, I just want the shoes and a regular cardboard box that I can stack in my room, forget about for 4 years.
Where do you rank?
Have it fall on my head.
Did we talk about this already? Where do you rank these in the all-time lobster
I think we
list?
did talk about it, right?
Red's it for me. That's like the best.
That red, yellow, does that count?
Yellow kind
Because
of,
Yellow
not
doesn't
really.
count. And it's also, you like the yellow?
I like the yellow because I like the
Because
speckles.
you like the Oregon Ducks?
Yep, and I like the speckles. The speckles on the yellow. I think
we've definitely talked about this. We're going to end up having a weekly segment.
Orange is in the middle. I think it's cool. It's
More importantly, what's your favorite way to eat lobster? That's a better question.
You're on the Complex Sneakers
lobster
podcast.
tails. A lot of butter on them.
I'll do a lobster roll.
Okay.
I think you just got to boil it, crack it open with some.
All right.
Oh,
Lobster tails. Lobster
that's
tails.
the thing.
Big Christmas Eve food. One of the 7 fishes.
oh,
I feel like if you eat a lobster, you have to crack it yourself. That's the number one rule. If you go to a restaurant and they pre-crack the lobster for you, that ain't it.
yeah. I haven't been eating right lately. I gotta get some lobster.
Travel's
something.
tough.
You know, I just feel so out of it. We've alluded to the macro conditions happening right now at our workplace, but I'm just like out here eating gluten-free bread and cheese cold for dinner and things like that. I gotta focus on my health.
That's rough.
Man.
What kind of cheese?
Smoked Gouda.
Okay, at least it's Lux. I thought maybe just like the slices.
Crasdale
of,
cheddar.
American slices.
Like Homer did in The Simpsons.
Maybe you can get some of the Liver King supplements that might be on sale.
Oh right.
But yeah, Concepts Orange Lobster release. I didn't try hard to get them when they dropped them online, but it felt like a fail, and that's a damn shame. And I know a lot of people were tagging us every time a sneaker release goes wrong. People want
because we're the people who are like gonna call the brand directly and you say, you know what? I heard that someone wasn't able to get the shoes. You better make this right.
I know what you mean. Like, I feel like that a lot of times when people complain to us about how shoe releases went, where I'm like, this is not a customer service account, or like, sir, this is a Wendy's.
I feel bad for people that like get screwed on shoe releases, but I know we have a platform and we can talk about all of it, but I can't call a sneaker brand directly and like relay your complaint and then get the shoe shipped.
Not about your specific shoe, but I do think we can use this place to hold people accountable.
Yeah, for
and be
sure.
Like Concepts, if you had to do a better job than that for releasing these orange lobsters, y'all are not new to this. And I'm sure Dion will text me if he hears this.
Yeah, so some interesting things still happening in sneakers towards the end of the year.
Are you going to try and buy any shoes before the year is over?
I want the eBay Dunk.
Okay, you're going to try and buy the eBay.
I'm going to try to
Will
buy
you
the
do
eBay.
the auction? Will you try and get in on the auction?
No.
Those pairs
the
are very
skatable box?
expensive. Yeah.
No, I didn't even know that it was like people could skate on that. But
is it going to bring back memories of not being able to do a soul grind back in the day?
Terrible rollerblader.
All the information you need to know about the shoes
is in your piece.
Is in my piece.
Don't
Yeah.
worry, we'll put the screenshot there. But
Thank
no,
you
I'm
for
not.
that.
I want those dunks though. And then I think that's it probably for the end of the year.
Welty, are there any more sneakers you're trying to buy? Not that we're going away. We'll be back.
No.
on the
Yeah, we'll be
podcast
back.
before the year's
Not.
over.
I mean, end of the year, it's like, especially this many weeks out, it's like I feel like all the fun's got to go to Christmas presents.
Yes.
Okay. Are you buying anybody sneakers for Christmas?
I might buy my mom a pair. I was thinking of getting something the other day, but I might go back and get it. But I don't want to put it out there.
Okay.
She listens,
she
right?
listens.
Yeah,
She listens to this. One thing I did get yesterday that I was a fan of. I got those. Thank you, shout out. So it's whatever. But I got sent the Frank Cook, friend of the show, Saucony
Nice.
Jazz 81s, all suede shoe. I think it's interesting. I think it's a collaboration with the Whitaker Group. So shout out James.
Okay.
There's a quote on the inside of the shoe, and it's like, I don't want to butcher it or whatever, but essentially it goes, "Mom and Dad, I know these shoes don't go with anything I have, but I really need them." And it says 7th grade Frank. And like that quote brings me back to the Air Kukinis of my mom telling me I can't wear them on an everyday basis, but I really wanted a shoe and didn't end up getting them. So that like really resonated with me on the
That's awesome.
on the sneaker.
And now you're buying your mom sneakers.
Yep.
Look at full circle.
Full
moment.
circle.
Beautiful.
Before we go, I do want to take a moment to acknowledge the talented people who have worked on this show behind the scenes and have made this show what it is. We wouldn't be able to do this week after week. And I know that we're up here and we are outward facing, but there's so many talented people who work behind the scenes on this show that if it wasn't for them, we would not be able to deliver this show as it is week after week. And I just want to acknowledge them. We want to acknowledge them and put it out there that we are extremely grateful for all their hard work that they've done to get this show where it is, and we'd be lost without them. And I just wanted to take a moment and acknowledge them and let them know that we're thinking about them and we appreciate them so much, and just super thankful of the work that they've done to get us to where this is now.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of names we could name, and sometimes I get worried about naming names because then you didn't name every single person. But
I feel like an acceptance speech,
yeah, man, so many talented people to mention. We could spend the next hour alone doing that. AJ Ryan, Craig Clayton, Greg Barron, Shiva Bayat, Jasmine Plata, David Weinstein, Nick Bianco, Chancel, Jen Stewart, Leslie, just a lot of people who we appreciate so much and who we care about a lot and who we hope they're doing well right now. And yeah, like I said, I wish I could name every single name. There's
Absolutely
so many of our coworkers who
sure.
we've so appreciated their contributions and can't thank them enough.
Very, very talented group of people who we will miss, and we know that we'll see them soon.
Yes.
Hopefully we're not competing with them because they are some very, very talented people. We'll miss them dearly, and we appreciate everyone who was always around the show and touched the show in any way and was in that studio, the studio guys.
I know. There's so many people like
studio people that I just remember leaving set, walking 5 steps away, and them being like, good show today, good show. So you guys were the real people who made this tick, and we appreciate you. And
if anything, this episode is for them. We can just say this is a tribute one for them. It's us that you see or that you hear when you turn this thing on, but there's such a big support network around us who make this thing happen that we couldn't do it without them. So we're indebted to them.
Absolutely. Yep. And with that being said, we will be here next week. We hope everyone has a great weekend. Please like, subscribe. We'll see you next week.